She fluent in that cash talk. Walk in the booth like Naomi on the catwalk. And tell them bitches whoop whoop from the Jaguar. It ain't even right though. Push me and I might go. She ain't getting money. I'm like, what the fuck the hype for? When them bitches bite flow, make my appetite go. Poof, gone, voila, magic. Looking mad good just to pull up on them rampant.
Welcome back to another episode of Unhinged and Immoral. It's our New Year's episode. I'm Mecca.
Ooh, I'm Jamila.
New year, new me.
New year,
What was the meme of the black lady stepping on? Damn. And you know that came out like 10 years ago, I believe?
Can we recreate this? By the time you guys see this, we will have recreated that meme.
We will have. No. We will.
I hope you know, and you know we're going to be funny. So check back in.
Check back in.
We will
check back in. They'll probably see that
meme
before they see this. Honestly, you'll just know this was the inception of it all.
Exactly.
So how has this year been for you, Jamila? Like, just let's do some woo-woo reflection.
Yes, let's do some
Where did you start in January? Actually, you know what? I have to look at my pictures from January.
I was going to say, let's do some
really jogs my
reflection.
memory.
Yes.
If I look at my Instagram and just see what was going on this year,
yes,
that will really bring me back.
I can definitely tell you that this year has actually been like a roller coaster for me.
Okay, absolutely.
Roller coaster of emotions because we have, like, in the first quarter, I was working a job. I was working at an event space. I was the manager of an event space.
Yes.
And I really enjoyed working there, actually, because I have a background in running events. You know, I was the president of BSA at Georgia State. So that's all we did was host events. So I kind of got back in that bag, and it was cool. I got to meet a lot of different people. But then how things come to an end, I was laid off because of monetary reasons. The company just wasn't able to afford to keep me and my salary. However, the way that ended was so bad. Like, it actually ended so crazy because
I
never spilled this tea, but I'll spill it.
It's the end of the year. Why not?
It's the end of the year. So essentially what happened was, like I said, I was laid off at some point, and then I inquired why, because at this point, me and the person who owned it had a pretty decent working relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just like, can't afford your salary. And I'm like, hey, here's what it is.
That's cool.
There was no harm, no foul. We had a set date that the employment was going to end. I was like, okay, I'll finish out my contract here, and then we'll just kind of find employment somewhere else. I ain't used to losing a job.
Right.
I'm used to this shit. That ain't that new. So as we get closer and closer to the end date, I'm like, hey, quick question, like, are you selling it? Because I think I may have an interested buyer. What I didn't tell him at the time was the interested buyer was going to be me and my parents, and we were going to like purchase it and then just run it as a family-owned business, because events, I love events, actually. But long story short, the deal fell through because my parents are very, very smart, and my parents were asking very necessary questions, and my parents like,
business people.
Right.
Money people.
So that part of it fell through, but it was still like no tea. It was no tea, no shade. It was like whatever. There was an event that I was assisting, like our final event, essentially. And it was a partnership event. So we were partnering with them. I was helping her run the event, and it was a mentorship event with the kids at AUC. And right before, there was I don't want to go into all of these because it's just like it's so many details, but I'll just give you the long to the short. There was some weird shit happening, some shady shit happening with the management and this other person that was randomly added to the team. And because they were backed up to the wall, and because they were at a position where they didn't really know what to do, they decided to blame me for some things. And they didn't know that it would get back to me because, again, they didn't realize that me and the person running this event had actually developed a relationship. So all of the things that were being said about me came right back to me. And I was accused of stealing.
Crazy.
I was accused of stealing money, which is like, girl, that's
Why would
crazy.
I take your money? I don't need to take your money.
Y'all don't have no money to take. But it was just a crazy thing.
There's just a lot going on.
Yeah. So I was very devastated because, like, I don't, as y'all can see, I don't like when my character is I don't like when my character is put up to question.
And she's a Gemini, so she has to come with receipts. And
I have to come with receipts. And so that's what I did. I handled that situation very swiftly. If you guys will recall, I made a video several months ago when this all kind of went down. I said, if things are not handled in 24 hours, I will be ... But things were handled. So I didn't come back with that video.
To let the chopper sing like Mariah. Yeah.
I'm a woman of my word. It was handled in the way that it needed to be handled. So that was the beginning of my year. As things continued to happen, my grandfather passed away.
Yes. Rest
So that was insane. It wasn't so much of a shock as more so it was just like devastating. You know, my grandfather was, I think, 94 at the time. My grandfather had been dealing with Alzheimer's for several years. So we had this conversation with my dad a while ago where it's like, yeah, you know, we kind of grieved my grandfather's passing like consecutive years. Like we continuously have been grieving him because his mental state has been lost. Exactly. So that was a lot for me to handle because it's like aging. That's the horrible part about aging. I don't even want to stay on that topic too long. But transitioning.
I'm gonna bring you right back because my daddy, but it's all right.
Please. So of course, you know, dealing with being laid off, my grandfather passing away. Then we get right into my birthday. And honestly, right at my birthday was the tip of things transitioning for me within this year. Right after my birthday, right around my birthday, honestly, I started working with my friends. Shout out to Ashley Roberts and Juicy Jerk in Stone Mountain, Georgia.
That shit is
on Memorial Drive. Shout out to y'all.
Keith Lee said they was good. We knew they was good before Keith Lee said they was good, child.
Clock it. But she allowed me to work at her establishment so that I could, you know, have money. I started making money on TikTok, but I knew that it was not substantial enough to like just quit my job. So I needed to work there so that I can have supplemental income. You know, I am a mother at the end of the day and I do have to clock in. So I was working at her restaurant while still making TikToks, and I really appreciate her for that because she still allowed me a lot of flexibility to be able to do all the things that I needed to do. Of course, you know, I'm still a doula. I'm still a content creator. I still do all of these things. And things just started to pick up for me, like online. Like it was just really insane. It just started happening so fast. It felt like a snowball effect. Like it just came, and there was not one video that just was the thing that did it. It was just a steady increase, but a very fast increase for me. And so, you know, when I got the information that I was going to be awarded to go to One Music Fest, I was like, okay, this means something to me because I applied 2 years in a row and I got denied because I was not. I guess my account wasn't substantial enough.
Wasn't popping enough.
Right. So to be offered that, it's like, wow, okay, this is really cool. Like, yeah, I get something. I'm getting something. And on top of that, with that coming in, I also was now being reached out from brands. And I'm like, oh my gosh, wait. And in September, I officially signed a management deal. And we all know what happened in October with the One Music Fest. And that just kind of blew everything up as well. Then, of course, we started the podcast. Like, it literally.
Yeah. The latter half of the year has been.
It's been
insane. Seeing the fruits of your labor.
It's been insane. So the tail end of this year has been. Like, I can't even put into words, like, how amazing this has all been, especially because, you know, I've really been wanting this for so long. And knowing that, like, oh my gosh, why am I getting emotional? This is so fucking annoying and lame. But to know that me and Jelani started making videos in, like, 2011, 2012, and I really, like, lost that spirit in me because I stopped making videos for a long time because I was in college and I just wasn't focused and I just didn't have the bandwidth to do that. And I did not think it was possible to get back into that. I thought I was going to have to like just do a whole nother route. And so when TikTok became what it was and I was able to jump in and rebuild a following, what really set it off was people being in my comment section when I had a very baby account saying like, I remember you. You're the girl from Black Parents versus White Parents back all these years ago. And it's like, oh shit, like y'all remember that shit? Like that's actually tea. Like, and so now to be at a place where like honestly, and it sounds so corny, but I don't care. When I tell you like my dreams are literally coming true in front of my eyes, excellent. Like it is so insane, like to really be able to to see this happening and like to be able to be recognized for my work and the things that I've always wanted in life. And it's not easy, and it's not easy at all, because I've always been the broke friend. I would say that all the time. I've always been the broke friend, because I was very conscious and I was very intentional on like, I don't want to get stuck in corporate, even though I know that's the route I should probably take to make more money. I didn't want to do that because I knew myself. I knew I would get stuck in there and I would be miserable. I wanted to make sure I took a pay cut for several years working jobs that just didn't make sense. But I knew that they afforded me a lot of flexibility to be able to put forth in my dreams. And like, now that that's like actually happening, like I am just so elated, and I feel so happy.
It's a blessing.
Yes.
I think I have the same story. I feel like the first half of this year in terms of personal life was riddled with, I won't say uncertainty, but kind of that realization that we are really, really grown. Like we're grown for real. Like we're not even like, oh, early 20s, like figuring it out. Like my dad has dementia, and he's in like an earlier stage. He's not where your grandfather was at.
Yeah.
But he is definitely there. And I think we started this year off with him going missing for like 3 weeks. And
That was scary.
It was very scary, because at the point in which I even brought it to the internet, I 1,000% thought he was dead. The only thing I had asked God for was, just, let me know, put that on my spirit. Once I feel he's not here no more, so it doesn't like shock me. I said, I don't want to like find out. But we had started calling morgues, like, because my dad was at the point where he was in denial about it. I think now he's a bit more, that was a really bad experience for him. And when we found him, he was in really bad shape. But he was in denial, so he was still thinking he could do stuff. He's a street nigga. He was used to hopping on the bus, going all around the Bay Area and Reno, and that's what he did. And he got lost. And the only reason we were kind of keeping track of him was because the Bank of America by my house, my dad had Bank of America. I'm not on any of his accounts. He won't put us on any of his accounts because he's very paranoid. He thinks we would take his money. And I've had to be like, nigga, I got money. Like, I don't want to take your money. Please. But like, so we weren't on any accounts. And so I just literally went into Bank of America, like, and broke down crying in front of this like white bank teller. I'm like, he has dementia. He's missing. I know the one thing about him, he's going to keep up with his money. He gonna keep up with that card. Yeah. And so just going in, it was clear she felt so bad for me. All she would tell me, she's like, all I can tell you is if the card is used in like one time in one, like whatever city it is in. So she would tell me the last transaction of the day, of the previous day. So that's kind of how we were like for 3 weeks, almost a month. I finally took it to the internet, and like I would call my cousins all throughout the Bay Area, and like, we were basically like search parties. Like, okay, his bank, he said he's in San Jose right now. So cousins would go to San Jose, driving up in the street. It was just like very, very stressful. We ended up finding him on some woo-woo shit. This is like, my father has an older brother who is 2 years older than him, passed away. His favorite cousin is Darrington's godfather, passed away as well. I have, pictures of everyone who's gone on to glory in my family on like what is this, like a shelf or whatever? People will call it altar. I feel like everyone has a shelf like that, honestly, like pictures of your family. Anyway, child, I put the pictures of them niggas back together right next to each other. It wasn't even right next to each other. I put them next to each other, and I went and got me a little white candle, and I really said, this was a Thursday night. I remember I said, God is real. The prayer is real. With however you subscribe to spirituality, that shit is real. Because I lit the candle. I said, I need y'all to guide him back to the family. If he's already gone, I need to know that. But if he's not, I need you guys to guide him back to the family, because we're not going to find him. Like, because we had started calling them morgues. That was Thursday night. The next day, mind you, the last time I went to Bank of America, my dad was in San Jose. That Thursday, he had been in San Jose. The next day around 3 p.m., my little cousin, his youngest brother's grandson, was on the BART on his way home from school with his girlfriend, and saw my dad sitting on a bench, disheveled, dirty, not even lucid, and was basically like, Uncle Freddie. But mind you, got to remember, this is his grandfather's older brother, so he knows him, but like not. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, this is an older family member. And basically went over there and sat with him until like his granddad, my dad's brother, came and got him, and they cleaned him up. And they had stole all his shit, but he did have his wallet in his pocket, like I thought so. And I'm like, damn, blood, God is real. Cause like, I just think about the words I said, please guide him back to the family. Like, You was 2 hours
That's
away
insane.
yesterday. Like, how you even made it back here? Because when they found you, you didn't know what the fuck was going on. So, like, I think about that was literally at the top of the year for me. Mind you, I got little moms living with me. I'm trying to keep it together because
That's a
I'm just
lot.
like, it's a lot. Like, you don't want kids to see you like breaking down. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that is like a hard. Oh my God, I don't want to get emotional either. But like,
No,
that's like a hard.
Yeah,
It's like a hard balance to have.
it is.
So, starting the year there and really trying to be like, okay, we've got him settled. I'm in the process right now trying to bring him back to Texas and put him in like a veterans memory care home here, which is, if you've dealt with the VA, that's like a whole process on its own. So it's taking a while, but the home is not too far from where I live. And so, and my brother does eventually, Darrington wants to move back to Texas next year. So it's like, we are going to be in Houston. So it makes more sense for him to come to Houston. We were looking at options of putting him in California, but it's just like, all his siblings are older. They all have fucking, at this point, great grandkids. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody, it kind of like, okay, this your daddy. You gotta step up.
Yeah.
Like, for real. Like, me and Darrington trying to orchestrate, pick him up, take him to doctors, but like that. For me, I'm at that transitional point where like I'm the parent. Where your parents, which is such a mind fuck to be at. Like, especially if you're, I don't know, like my parents are so much older that a lot of people don't take this role on until like another 10 years when they're like in their late 30s going into 40s. Me and Darrington have been doing it since we were literally like 23 because his health has you know, like, it's been on a steady decline somewhat. So like, that's been going on. And I feel like the same thing happened for me. In June, I hit 500K on TikTok and I didn't even really think too much of it. Yeah. I'm just still like, I'm a very glass half full person. So even though all this crazy shit was going on with me in my personal life, I just, you know, you got to find the joy every day. So shit that makes you happy and shit that's going to make you laugh. Even with my dad, like his nickname now is TK because he be trying to do the fucking race. I like that type of, coming from a family that finds humor even in shit that's like, oh my God, this shit sucks. But we were able to laugh, you know, like my auntie, I want to pull the pictures up, but his sister, who my auntie Pat, shout out Auntie Pat, she 6'13" queen, when he was missing and she was posting the selfies like, Fred, please come home. I said, oh,
like, girl, the selfie.
Like, girl, she trying to get some sympathy from the host, child. It was so fucking funny. Like, mind you, we're in peril. We're in the panic room. And when she dropped them pictures, the cousins chat went up.
Like,
that
you
shit
know
was
what?
so
Thank
funny.
you for this laugh in the midst of
We needed
distress.
this. So I hit 500K. I didn't even recognize it. My cousins, my friends, they threw me a whole big little party. They had me a plaque made, like how you have a YouTube plaque. TikTok don't have no motherfucking plaques.
TikTok, get some plaques. Well, shit.
They can't do shit.
Let's just focus on staying here.
Right. Focus on staying in the mix.
Oh, my bad.
But my turning point was like 500K, and then we got to go to Essence. And shout out to Nosy Bystanders. Stephanie picked a whole bunch of people and sent us to Essence. We didn't pay for anything. And that trip, you know, I think a lot of times Black publications and companies get a bad rap for like shit being unorganized, shit being late. When I say I will always give Stephanie her 10s for that, that was her first brand trip, and it was so well organized, so well done. We didn't want for nothing. We didn't have any confusion about nothing. It was the tickets, the money was sent, like everything we needed, she was on top of. And I love that it was my first big experience. That was your first experience, yeah. I love that was my first experience because that's where I met the Super Five. You know what I'm saying? Like, I met people who I literally became friends with in real life. I had an experience where it wasn't like we were chasing her trying to figure shit out. She had everything handled. I feel like sometimes Black businesses get such a bad rap because you have an experience with one Black business and then now all Black businesses are bad. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, well, y'all don't do that to everybody else. Y'all don't, because y'all have bad experiences with white businesses every day and you don't put it on the entire white people. But I can say confidently, I'm so happy that my first big brand as Machiavelli, as this content creator with a real following who was being recognized, was with a Black business that did the fucking thing. I'm really thankful for that. That's and so amazing. From Essence, it's been up. And it's like, I'm just thinking like the uncertainty of where this year started, the pain and like the fear and like just all the static of where this year started. It's like, it's so lit. And even just the transition of like, I'm now co-parenting little moms. They don't have her full time. And I do think that everything happens for a reason because I'm looking at the way things are going. I don't think like I could have made it work, you know, in terms of still having her, but it has opened me up to take a lot of opportunities that I know I would not have taken because I would have prioritized her. You get what I'm saying? And so I now having that help with her and being able to like pursue things, it's like, it just sounds so cliche, but you can literally see where God is setting you up. Because I'll be honest, I did not want to do the co-parent thing. Like at that point, it was my baby. I was like, no, she's mine. Like, and just seeing like where it's at now and how it's working so well for her, watching her flourish and become her own person and like her own personality, and like really sitting back and saying, even though I didn't know much about taking on a child, I knew not to put her goddamn face on the internet. You know what I'm saying? Like I knew that much, and I understand. Because I know the video you had made about, you know, Noah and everything, and like he's a part of your life. Where I was coming from with her, I felt like she was in 8th grade going into high school, and
there were
obviously
different circumstances too.
It's different circumstances.
For sure.
We're so local. We be outside.
Yeah.
She's at the point where she has to have her own identity, and I wanted her to have the chance to like build that and create that for herself without being in the shadow of being like little moms. And even she's gotten clocked at school already. And I told you about this where just a girl came up to her and said, "Oh my God, are you little moms?" Just based off the little descriptors that I've given her. Like so she looks like me and da-da-da. She thinks it's because I went to the back to school night. So mind you, I got barred from going to, and I was like, oh my God, is this how Beyonce feels? Like, that's how I'm like, does Blue do this to Beyonce? I got barred from going to this little, Sabrina and Shantae went, this little thing during lunch because I think that she also definitely kind of peeped what's going on. And she wants to have her own identity, and I definitely respect it. Yeah. But I said, "Oh my God, I can't come." She's like, "No, then everyone will know." And I was like, okay. I said, "Well, you know, I do have to come to like the end of the school." She's like, "No, like this shit at nighttime." Well, she didn't say shit. She doesn't curse in front of adults, but I curse in front of her. She was like, "No, like parent stuff, like obviously, but like at lunch, it's like a lunchtime event in front of all the kids. Like they'll all know." I'm like, "You're kind of right." Yeah. Oh my God, my feelings are so hurt.
But I understand.
But I do understand. Like it's no shade. It's no hard feelings. So like I'm definitely so excited for the upcoming year. I think this last 3 months has been such a roller coaster between when Music Fest,
drama,
the blow, like whatever blew up on TikTok.
We're gonna take a break.
And we're back.
Honestly, I feel like this year is such a just great metaphor for how life goes. Like, honestly, this year was like a crash course on life, actually. Like, you were going to experience loss. You were going to experience great L's. You were going to experience some amazing W's. You were going to experience growth. You're going to experience so many different things. And you have to like keep going because there's still tomorrow. And that's the crazy. The day got to end.
It has to end.
It's insane. And knowing that like I'm going through all of these things while also being a mother is like so insane because, you know, of course going through grief is, oh man.
That's what I was saying.
It's
like
hard.
When my dad was missing, but still having to go pick her up from school and like I can't, I'm literally stressed the fuck out. I want to cry. Like I remember during that point in time, I was taking great solace in Pilates. Really, when I was getting deep into Pilates, because being at Pilates and being at Soul Cycle was so kind of hard that for at least that 45 minutes, all I could focus on was not dying. Like in terms of like the high intensity workouts. And it like was literally getting my mind off of being so worried about my dad. Yeah, like the way that was going was like, and I just remember one time during this whole thing, because like I said, I was making very great efforts not to like break down in front of little moms, like to be like, okay, let's be normal. She said something, she did the craziest shit, bro. She like bit into a piece of like top ramen, like a hamburger.
Like raw? Like the crunchy one?
Raw, yes. She bit into it like she put the stuff on it and then she bit into it like a hamburger. And it was like,
pause all the shit.
I'm sitting there trying to like hold my shit together. Like, and I'm looking at her like,
on ramen.
Kids are fucking weird.
Nah, kids are crazy.
And then I moved houses. Mind you, I didn't want to move houses. Even the house situation was like God is trying to push me into a bigger and better space, and I'm resisting because I definitely felt like at the top of the year, I be having little premonitions, and I always like they be coming true even when I don't want them to, because I hate moving. I literally hate moving is so irritating for me.
It's the vein of my existence.
And I've moved so many times that it's like
Same.
I'm not fucking moving again. But I was in a house. It was a smaller house. It was in like shout out Sunnyside, Hiram Clark, and it was the hood. I didn't. I was in the quiet part of the hood. Like my cul-de-sac was all old people, so it wasn't no bullshit going on over there. I didn't want to move, but the electricity wasn't working, and I just remember I was like, I'm gonna have to move, and I was like, oh my God, I don't want to. And then it got to the point where my refrigerator started giving out, and like I went through 2 different times where I lost all the food in my refrigerator.
And you know that'll piss you off so much.
Ooh,
you get pissed off.
I'm an auntie. I keep
all
my
that good meat
stocked with meat.
All that good meat gone.
That was my last. I said the second time it happened, I said, "Oh, I got to get the fuck up out of here." And so it just worked out really well with this house. It was available. It's it's Alontro's fiance's house. And they were about to, put it up anyway. And it's like that house, like the electricity literally need to be rewired. And it's just like, this is not worth the cost. Like I have to get the fuck up out of here. And so it was just, it's a bigger space. I'm paying the same amount. Like it's all the things that I needed at that point in time. And I'm just looking like, again, watching how God is setting you up. I was like, I wouldn't have enough space to do everything I'm doing right now. At the old place. And so that happened that was like in July at the end of September when I was like, I finally was like, I have to move. I was here on October 1st. Like I was like within 2 months that I got the fuck. It's crazy.
Yeah. And what's crazy is like when bad things happen, unfortunately to me, they happen in tandem. It's like, it's always more than one bad thing happening.
Yes, because my car broke down on the fucking tollway, right? Like, no, I moved on October 1st, and then like on October 13th, my car broke down on fucking Sam Houston. Like, bitch, Little Moms is in the car. Like, I had to pull over, but it was so scary.
It's like,
if your car slows down and literally finna stop on the highway, that is a mindfuck. Mind you, unfortunately, I have literally been in that situation before. So I knew to like the moment I felt it deaccelerating, I knew to, okay, you gotta start getting over, bitch. This bitch finna turn the fuck off. Like I did not play them games. I said, oh baby, I got to stop because I didn't want to have and she was in the car. So it was like, and then I had to buy a new car as soon as I got back from my music fest. Girl.
It's literally like, bro,
it was so much money
why do I
spent
have to be dealing with everything at once? Please,
I said, Jesus, please give me some of my savings. Please don't want to deplete my savings, child, during the month of October. That was so hard. That was hard, child.
What's also kind of sometimes really difficult is like when good things are happening, but also bad things are happening, and you don't really know how to celebrate the wins because you're dealing with this like extreme, heaviness, because it's like that's where I'm at right now.
It is hard. It's very hard. I will say that. I think for me, so fun fact, my dad's always done stand up, right? And he personally knew Robin Williams. And so, and they were cool back in the day. Like if Robin before Mork and Mindy, Robin was in San Francisco. And so my dad has always had like this thing where he wants to be like a famous comedian. And I think that
which very funny.
Which tracks, he could have did it. He's done so much. But I think especially with getting the recognition that, from the family, he's not totally gone. So he still hears, and he'll ask little questions, and he just says stuff. He's like, you have fans? People ask you for pictures? And it's like you can see him realizing that like the dreams that he had for himself are coming true through me. And the thing about it is he forgets, so it's like we're in this constant loop of this. And it's like, I think I try and look at like the pluses of it and say, okay, cool. Like, so every time as I become bigger, as I grow, you'll be just as shocked each time. So that I'll have that. But I really, really wish that you just remember. I just think watching our people age and get older, it's hard. Life is a cycle, and it unfortunately does have to end at some point. It's very, very hard. But enough of that, child, girl. Anyway, because you can drop a few tears. You drop a few tears for the girls, but hold on. I figured that was gonna happen.
Wendy Williams says you always dab your tears into your face.
You have to dab.
Darling.
You have to have a little makeup
absorb
brush.
it. Just
you
absorb
have to.
it.
Hold
Just absorb it.
Yes, ma'am. But shout out to Grandma Dorothy.
Love her. To
shout out to
my
Fred.
twin.
Yes. Shout out to the girlies who look exactly like their grandmothers. That's so fun. Okay. Well, my eyes look a little red. You know what? Not to sound like this. I've always liked the look of like someone's eyes being slightly red after a fresh cry.
No, a fresh cry.
It is a little bit. It's a little bit sexy. Like it's
after a fresh cry, it's just a little plump, and it's like
I don't know. It's a little bit of a look. It's like, what was just happening just now? What were you going through? It gives mysterious. Actually,
the little wet eyelashes.
Yes, it gets like, I'm fine. It's just nothing. It's okay.
Nothing happened. I'm fine.
Don't worry about me. Ask me everything that's wrong with me. I'm just gonna keep asking me, and I'm gonna act like nothing's going on.
As it just builds up in the corner.
As it builds up, I'm fine. That's how you know it's just drama over here. Because why the fuck would? And mind you, I used to do shit like that when I was in school. Once I learned how to make myself. When I learned how to make myself cry, it was over for you bitches. I used to do shit like I would go in the bathroom and make myself cry.
I would just stare in the mirror, just
like a psychopath. Like, and literally go out to recess and people be like, my eyes are just red and puffy. Oh my God, what's wrong? Nothing. Let's play wall ball. Let's play the tether ball.
I want to talk
They're
about
like, Mecca, what's wrong? Nothing. I just love telling them nothing.
Nothing. It's just a lot.
So like, what do you want to say? What do you... This is so insane.
Nutcase. If you can't tell.
Fuck.
This is how we deal with
This is how we deal with trauma. Trauma. Let's make ourselves cry and make people ask us questions. What are your aspirations and where do you want to what are your goals for the new year? What do you want to achieve in 2025? 2025, that's crazy. I remember 2015.
Hello? Like, what
it's
are we talking about right 2025?
Now.
Like, what a mindfuck. Crazy enough, 2024 is our 10-year anniversary of graduating from high school. So
absolutely.
That's already been like a mindfuck for me. We were supposed to have our 10-year reunion, but yo, it's like, what?
I ain't gonna lie. Some of y'all look really good, but some of y'all look really bad. Like popping on them damn perks and Zans and leans and all that type of shit. Like,
no.
You can tell.
No. We have to have a conversation about post-grad druggies. What the fuck happened? Whoa. No, it's actually kind of scary. Like people that you, I'm like, hey, I didn't even know. You didn't even. I got. It's a mind fuck. But anyways, 2025.
The boys, the hairlines are leaving them. The lean guts are setting in.
Mm-hmm.
The circles under the eyes from sleepless nights because you were hopped up on that shit.
Yeah, it's
it's you look what Drake say? You look drained. You look exhausted. Them late nights ain't good for you. They're really starting to show on you. That's why I go to sleep. Y'all laugh at me about going to sleep, but like as at working in aesthetics, really a lot of aging and certain things that go on with our face, you can't prevent it. We're going to age, like we're going to age, but taking care of yourself really does make all the difference. Having heavy bags are hereditary, and I have hereditary dark under eye circles in my family. So, but it can only be exacerbated by not getting enough sleep. That's why when I'm tired, I go to sleep. I don't want them to be set in faster than they have to be. Like, go to sleep, take a nap. And I can always tell when I'm tired and haven't got enough sleep, my bags be hitting, bitch. They be bag lady. Word to Erykah Badu, child.
I stay with a bag. Maybe one of these days I'll, figure out what aesthetic procedure I can get to. But I don't want to overdo filler. I don't want to do filler.
No. I wouldn't say filler. What we've been looking into, PRP.
Oh.
Put your own blood cycling back into it has kind of the same effect, but it's a bit more natural.
Yeah, because I've seen all the filler migration. I don't think I need my face already big enough. I don't need nothing plumped in my damn face. This bubble is a big face. Yeah, I got a big bubble juice. Yeah. Some bitch on Twitter was like, "Oh, shut your big face ass up." You know, you ate with that. It is big. But no, I won't shut up.
No. Can we discuss the? I don't even know what the hell you said. You said somebody wear the same wig all the time. I don't know who you was talking about, but they said,
"Oh, Janae." Mind you, I didn't even.
Who?
That wasn't. It was implied, but I didn't say that. So the fact that everybody knew what I was talking about, I'm like, so you agree?
No, but your tweet wasn't the first tweet that I saw of them saying she loves this wig or whatever. It was something about her
Janae
wig.
from Love Island.
A Dominican boy.
Yeah, so she clearly loves a middle part bust down, which, I mean, who doesn't? I said I would love to see my sister in a new look, and that caused quite a stir. And I'm like,
it was because you already on you. They was
I was already in the hot seat. So they were like, "See, I told you she was a fucking bully, big face bully ass bitch." And I'm like, "Oh my god."
They in the comments like, and that's why Mecca looked the same every day of her life.
I said, "Nah."
Wait, hold
on.
They said
you should tell your castmate.
There's not much I can do. I only have a teaspoon of hair.
And I'm like, mind you, she just went bald headed. She did. This is new.
This is a new look.
But
I feel like, you know what? What I will say about going bald, it's like I found my signature look.
I agree. Soon as I seen that bald head, I said, you know, now this is tea. I said, this actually
because for
really
so
makes
many
sense.
years.
Why did we never think about going bald?
For so many years, and shout out to Jazz, because I know Jazz used to hate it. The big Dominican curly wig was my signature look.
Wig.
And mind you, I had bought that wig 27 times. I had so many
I know.
wigs. I loved that big curly wig.
Here go Jazz. Mecca got that wig on again. That big ass wig.
I just love the little Diana Ross moment, little Dominican moment. Okay, I love that wig, but I thought that was my signature look, and I literally felt like the moment I cut my hair, especially once I had dyed it, I said, "Oh, I have done something new." And you know, it was like a slow progression. I cut my hair, and then I was like, "This is so freeing. I love being bald. This is so fun." And I said, "Let's try the dye," and I dyed it. And then, bitch, when I dyed my eyebrows, I said, "Oh,"
and now we get it.
We're here. So I have unlocked my signature look. And that's also happened this year. That was really fun. That was exciting. So I literally don't see myself ever. I'm definitely going to put on a wig. I think I'm going to wear a wig for New Year's. But I also
go back into that bag.
I was going to do like
what are you doing for New Year's?
We're trying to go to Seaside.
We don't have any plans.
We're trying to go to Seaside. That isn't set in stone. Frankie Blue on TikTok is hosting at Seaside.
I'm sure. I know he always got something to do.
You know, Frankie outside is hell all the damn time.
Literally.
So
he live outside.
Child. I'd be like, Frankie, you too rich for my blood, child. I can't. He said he rich. What his company is called Rich something. I can't think of the name right now. But he does make clothes and he's a stylist. But Seaside, that's not set in stone, but we will be outside. Darrington is coming back out here. You know, he's fucking thirsty for Houston. My homegirl Lynn, who is a singer, shout out to Lynn. If you've listened to her music, very talented. You should come to Houston. A lot of people we're trying to do it big. You know, I just had my Christmas party, which is becoming an annual thing, which is really fun.
You know, I got flight benefits.
Oh yes, you do have flight benefits. Yes, use those. And we're gonna do a pregame here, so I'm really excited.
We'll see.
Darrington is, like I said, he wants to move back to Houston at some point next year, maybe the end of this time next year, going into 2026. So he's getting himself ready for that. He was talking about Joe, also on TikTok. Joe lives in a loft downtown, and Darrington wants to live in a loft. So I know when he comes out here, he wants to go to Joe's house and kind of see like what's going on, so he can know what to prepare for. Because he saw Joe's house on FaceTime and was like, "That's exactly what I want."
Boys love lofts. I don't know what it is, but boys love them concrete walls and bricks.
That's so crazy. That's literally what Darrington was like. I love the pipes and shit and a brick wall.
They love pipes and bricks and concrete.
This nigga was like, "Oh, it's real manly." Yeah, I love that. I said, "Okay, cool. Yeah, well,
do you, sister?
Yeah, do you?"
Yeah.
So that's really exciting. I think that also a lot of preparation is going. We're preparing for next year.
We're gonna take a break.
And we're back.
Shall we announce something that's not really set in stone? Like, let's just do it. Let's rip the Band-Aid off.
I don't even know what we're announcing. Let's go.
Okay. We don't have a date yet. Well, maybe we will by this time. I don't know. Things move fast. But yes. But I'll say exactly what we're planning, because that's just, we live in a very delusional state and we're going to do this. We just don't know all the details yet, but it's in the works. Me and Mecca will be having our first live show in
Yes.
Atlanta at the top
It
of the
would
year.
definitely be
We'll
in
say
Atlanta.
Q1. We won't say all the
We
details.
won't say
Q1.
We'll say quarter one. We don't know what
Quarter
month,
one,
but it's
yes.
definitely it's been in talks for about a month or two since the podcast started.
Yeah, since the podcast
we have been
started.
planning for this.
Yeah.
Honestly, I want to say this before the events. This is being filmed early,
Yes.
so I want to make the
It
date
is currently
plain.
December 16th.
It's December 16th. Before the events of this prior week, Jamila and I were steadily growing. We were having things sent to us with certain numbers on them that reflected the growth based on me and Jamila. But after this week, what I want to say is this is something that was being planned before that.
Yes.
People were coming to us to plan this live show, possibly live tour before this, that.
I was gonna say we had this thought before a first episode dropped.
I was gonna say, so that we've always been in the works and making it happen. We've made some really cool connections. But now I definitely, it's like, oh yeah, this is absolutely going to happen. I'm sorry, Mona, aka Don't Call Me White Girl, hopped into our live. We said it on the last episode. We're gonna say it again. And knew who we were and was like, y'all funny. I said, oh, actually, y'all can't tell me shit.
Girl, I love you. What do you mean? Hello?
What do you mean you just hopped into the live and know who we are casually? Mind you, it's only like 100 and some people on the live and Mona.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. I love it here.
And I hope to always feel that way when people reach out. Like I know at some point, being a celebrity, you start to be around a lot of celebrities and it starts to become, I guess, normal to you. I hope it never becomes normal to me. Like I am anytime I become mutuals with a big creator, I'm like, I literally jump every single time. Yeah, it's like, whoa. Like, oh, this is so cool. Like, I think it's literally so fucking cool that you, with your big platform and you with your own thing going on, you decided to follow me. Like, you think I'm cool. I think you're cool. Like, I am so humbled by that. Like, I will always be humbled in the fact that, like, y'all see me because I have this weird thing in my head. It's so stupid, but it's just me. I always feel like the interactions I have with people mean more to me than it means to them. And it's not good, but it's like, that's just I don't know. I think that's my anxiety talking. So I be wanting to like, oh my gosh, like, remember we had this conversation like so long ago? Like, it really means a lot to me. And I feel like they'll be like, bitch, I don't remember you. So for me, I try to like not do too much because I don't want people to ever feel like overwhelmed. But it's like, no, like, I think you're really super fucking cool. And like, I'm actually entirely so gagged. So having other creators be gagged and I'm following them, I'm like, bitch, no, I'm gagged for you. We gagging each other. We see each other. So
I think that I agree. I don't ever want it to get old because I feel like the moment it gets old, it's kind of like, I'm not saying you're less humble. Yeah. But it's like, we're definitely still gagged when people ask us for pictures. We're definitely still gagged when people recognize us or want to speak to us off the strength of seeing us on socials. Because we are regular people still. We are, and I hope to always be like a regular person, like just kind of be able to move through the world and exist. I think the really cool part about like making Houston home, if you can like find a city, and you live in Atlanta, so it's a lot of people in Atlanta as well. Yeah. Like people clock you, but it's like, oh yeah, Mecca, she be outside. Like you probably will see her again at the store. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I love that vibe. I love that. I love being in Houston and being like, because like what was I say? Yolanda Adams. I'm sorry. I don't know why I was going to call that lady Yolanda Adams lives in Houston, right? And she, she's from out here. You can see her at the grocery store. There's a couple different people out here in Houston.
Got the victory. That's the first thing that will come to mind if I see her. Hey, nah.
And it's just like, you look up and you're like, oh, okay, yeah. The local. I love that. I love being like a local person who be outside. Yeah. That's fun.
It's fun. So what else do you have planned for the new year? Like, what are we seeing for the new year for
what am
Mecca?
I going to speak into existence? So obviously
speak some things.
We've talked about we're for sure going to do the live show, but
absolutely
speaking to existence, the live tour.
Ooh.
That Jamila and I have conceptualized. I have a vision of us doing like a Chitlin circuit type situation. Very much inspired. I want to do like old school posters. Just like we have a great appreciation for Black American culture.
I was gonna say we love. If you cannot tell from all of these videos, we love being Black. Number one. We also love being old head Blacks.
Yeah, it's a very
we appreciate old curated black ass shit. Like that's just so us. Like
yeah. And I also like so that I want to speak that into existence. We can just go ahead and say everything what we had talked about. We want to kind of do it throughout probably the second half of the year, possibly end at a panel at Hampton's homecoming this next homecoming. We'll definitely be there, but we won't know if we'll be on panel. That's one thing that we're really gearing up for. I'm getting back into YouTube. We're both getting back into YouTube. So we're doing the YouTube for our podcast, but also separately, which should be a lot of fun. I just hired a personal assistant, which is my friend Eddie. We've been friends for a couple years. And so that's super exciting. My business, Femi Aesthetics, we just remodeled. So, and Eddie's going to help us do like he's very aesthetically like inclined. So also going to help us with that, getting the branding of the business in order. We've added we have a RN working there now. We have a lot of shit going on with like on the spa side of things outside of social media. I know people think like we don't have jobs, but like it's a lot going on over there. It's not just me. Shout out Ashley. She's holding it down. Something else I see for Jamila and I as a team, award show season. I see us at award show in 2025.
You know, that was what I was going to say. Award season's coming.
I mean, a shout out to our publicist Valise and managers Taylor. Like, these are things that have already kind of been like, well, this is what everyone's goal for you guys.
Yeah. So
that's exciting.
Yeah. What's crazy is like I've always wanted to go to the BET Awards. I've always been obsessed with the BET Awards.
It's very hard ER business because when I think of things that I want to do that's been on my bucket list, I'm not even talking about the award show. Y'all think I'm talking like BET Soul Train Awards. Like that's the shit I want to go to.
Yeah.
Black Girls Rock.
Like it's funny because every year, you know, whenever the BET Awards rolls around, I look at the tweets and I watch people try to downplay the BET Awards, and I'm like, I've grown up. I've seen every single one because I was there from the inception of BET Awards. Imagine that. Aging ourselves again. And I remember
we remember when Beyonce used to go to the BET Awards.
Okay, with that top booty meat out.
When Beyonce used to actually show up and perform.
Hello? Like, I remember the BET Awards being a thing. And to me, the BET Awards are not necessarily bad now. I just think that they need to be updated and adjusting with the time. And I want to put another goal out there. This is not a goal for next year. I know this is not going to happen next year, and that's okay. This is a long-term goal, but I do want to put that out there. I would absolutely love to be a producer on the BET Awards. Like
that's a good goal.
I see so many things for it, and I love it. Like
fun fact: as much as Jamila is an on-screen person, Jamila is very inclined off-screen, like producing, directing. So I can see you in the long term because what my goal is for Unhinged Immoral, I always like take it back to the read, but it's because I've been listening to Crystal and Fury since I was in high school. Like that was the first podcast they tuned into and was like, I think myself growing and then they're growing and they're getting older and I'm getting older and like we're the age that they were when they started and like remembering things that they said throughout the year. It's like, oh yeah, that applies right now. Like I see it. And then like listening to them talk now and being like, and in 10 years, like that's the same thing. It's going to apply. I see us like being more like a read type. Like this is maintainable for both of us. Like we're just at home. We do this on Mondays. It's very doable. But then the thing, like our aspirations and goals outside of this, we're able to dibble and dabble in and achieve. So I absolutely can see you being a producer on the BET Awards. I think that's 1,000% in your future. I want to do like, I wouldn't say like possibly like a talk show, possibly like.
I can see that.
I see it for myself.
Getting your Wendy Williams back. How you doing?
Wendy was hated too. That's why, you know, it is what it is.
I love me some Wendy Williams show.
Wendy Williams tea. I definitely want to dibble and dabble on screen though. Like we were talking about it last week on the episode and I was like, no, that would, especially watching Beauty in Black, I would love to do like a To-Be Tyler Perry-esque at least entrance into
Black
the
ass
world.
shit.
Like, yeah, like I don't mind doing mainstream shit, but I also am really okay with being Black famous. Like I'm not. Like,
I think
that's
we need
okay
to put forth effort into Black media. I'm a Black ass person, like just naturally. Like I enjoy Black media, even if it's not mainstream. I enjoy pieces of art that is very obviously centered around the Black gaze and GAZE.
But the Black gaze.
But the Black gaze.
We love y'all as well.
But I enjoy mediums like that because that is the type of art that I've always ingested. Like, I revere Black art as highbrow. I put it up there for me. And I remember one time in one of my film classes, the teacher was like, oh, you know, what's your favorite film? And of course, this is the time for all the white people to be so pretentious. Citizen's Kane.
And I watched Citizen's Kane and I was like,
okay.
Like,
you know, they're trying to be very, maybe just be this cool, Goodfellas. Like, shut up. Like, yeah, Goodfellas is a good film.
Goodfellas is a good movie. Wait,
it is
Goodfellas
good.
is good.
No,
Goodfellas
it's great.
is good. It's a good movie. It's a good movie.
But it's like they were all saying the things that they thought the teacher wanted to hear, because these are the things that are revered as the most prestigious films in the film world, right? And so, of course, when it comes from my Black ass time to speak, set it off. Directed by F. Gary Gray. Am I right? And crickets. Who? Oh, okay. To me, that film is everything. And I love that film so much. Like that.
You love Set It Off?
That is one of my absolute favorite films of all time.
Set It Off is a bit too trauma-ridden for me.
And maybe that's why I love it. I love a traumatizing movie.
For a long time, my favorite movie was Poetic Justice. And that is also a trauma-ridden movie.
Well, yes.
It is very trauma-ridden, but I really liked it. I really liked it. As of right now, another movie, but this is a Caucasian classic. I love The Princess Bride.
Okay.
You know, it's a good movie.
Never heard of it or seen it.
You've never seen The Princess Bride? Jamila, you have to watch. Like, no, I'm so dead the fuck right now.
Is it a comedy?
Yes.
Okay,
it is a
I love
comedy.
comedies.
It's from the 80s. I don't know how to explain The Princess Bride. Honestly, you just have to watch it. Well, it's about this guy, like his grandpa's telling him a story. It's a fairy tale. So imagine, like, it starts out with Fred Savage, I believe. It's one of the 80s kids.
You said this is a movie from the 80s?
Yes.
Okay.
It's Jamila, I'm so serious. You have to watch it.
Okay.
You really have to watch Princess Bride. Have you seen Wicked?
Good.
Did you go see it?
Not yet.
Okay, never mind. I can't talk about it.
Okay.
You have to go see Princess Bride. You have to. It's on. I think it's on HBO Max.
I'll invest in it. Remind me.
I will. But it's a very good movie. The dude who plays I can't think of his name, Buttercup's boo. He was really fine back in the day. I don't know how he looks now, but he was fine back in the day. Some good milk. We're gonna take a break.
And we're back.
What's your favorite 80s classic? And it can be from just before I let you speak, another one of my favorite movies, Harlem Nights. I love that movie so bad. Thank you.
Classic black.
Shoot your pinky toe off.
My favorite 80s? Ooh, 80s. Let me think back in the Rolodex of 80s films.
It can be black or white, honestly. It doesn't have to just be black. I know you're probably gonna say something black, but
more than likely.
I feel like that the white people gave us a lot in the 80s, though.
When did Coming to America come out?
In the 80s?
I'll say Coming to America. That's classic. Like, Coming to America is very funny. I hated the new one, though. Sorry.
You didn't like it?
I absolutely
underrated Eddie Murphy classic, Boomerang. It don't get enough love for me. Eartha Kitt, Eddie Murphy, Boomerang, Robin Givens, Halle Berry,
star-studded,
like a stacked cast. Like Boomerang, when people talk about Eddie Murphy movies, and they mention Boomerang. People who were around when it came out mentioned Boomerang. You know what I'm saying? People of
a
the
lot
time
of new people haven't really seen
don't know about Boomerang.
New blacks,
a lot of new blacks.
New blacks.
We were raised by the old blacks, so we know about Boomerang. Robin Givens' blowout, her fucking hair in that movie was amazing.
She was delicious.
I love the '90s thick blowout.
Mm-hmm.
Back when we didn't,
from the root to the tip.
Back we didn't mind the texture of our hair. We just were trying to blow it out a little bit. It didn't have to be bone straight. You like that texture. I love a textured blowout. I'm sorry. I think it's so beautiful. I think it's beautiful. Another 80s classic. I was really into the Brat Pack, which is like the white people from the 80s. You know, Emilio Estevez, Molly Ringwald, Judd Nelson. Demi Moore was in there. Have you seen St. Emilio's Fire?
No.
Okay. I'm getting too Caucasian for you.
Like, I'm going to be honest
Breakfast
with
Club?
you guys.
You seen the Breakfast Club?
I've seen the Breakfast Club.
The actual Breakfast Club? 16 Candles?
My sister, I don't know if y'all know this, but my sister Jazz had a very strict white face for a very long time. She was a little Caucasian girl where she only ingested white media. So that's where all of my white media comes from, is when my sister was white. She's back black, though. She's black again.
Also, Teen Witch. Have you ever seen Teen Witch? Jamila! Teen Witch is so good. Fun fact, Robin Lively, who plays Teen Witch, is actually Blake Lively's older sister. And she's also married to Coach Bolton, Troy Bolton's dad from High School Musical.
Okay. I'm black as hell. I really enjoy... No, there's some white movies I like. No, there's some white movies I like. Like Forrest Gump is one of the best movies ever, period.
I know about Forrest Gump. It's not my Tom Hanks favorite. Big is better than Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump is so good.
Sleepless in Seattle is better than Forrest Gump.
Still never seen Sleepless.
That's crazy.
I know. Sorry.
That's a Caucasian classic. Harry Met Sally. When Harry Met Sally, have you seen that?
No.
Okay. Yeah, very black, very black.
I promise I've seen every Negro film.
At this point, I want to go down my Caucasian Rolodex and just see, have you seen it? Have you seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
No, but I've heard of Bueller. Okay, I've heard I can catch some of the references because it's
Matthew
like
Broderick,
no.
Sarah Jessica Parker's husband in real life.
No.
I think Matthew Broderick and Sarah Jessica Parker are the Caucasian equivalent to Angela Bassett and Sydney Vance.
They've been together that long?
Vance. Yes. It's like they got together around the same time. They're all around the same age range.
Interesting.
I believe they both couples have twins, if I'm not mistaken. I just really feel like they are each other's counterparts.
Okay, period.
Yeah.
Waiting to Exhale, wasn't that in the 80s?
That's the 90s.
Oh, 90s. Okay,
that's the 90s.
Yeah.
He's watching me walk away.
That
Rest in peace, Gregory Hines. Can I tell you something crazy? When I was a kid, Gregory Hines was one of my first crushes. It was written that I was gonna like old men because I remember watching Waiting to Exhale for the first time and thinking, like, I was like 8 and I thought he was so fine. I did.
Like
silence from everyone. Wait, Gregory Hines.
And on that,
may he rest in peace.
I said that's all I'm gonna say about that baby. May he rest in peace. I hope he's not watching me walk away.
I would have let him watch me walk away, child. He could have watched me do a whole bunch of shit. I can't believe y'all don't think Gregory Hines is fine. Anyway, let's get into.
I mean, he wasn't ugly, but he ain't my.
And he could tap dance, and he danced. He
sure
good
did.
at other shit.
He sure did. He's a legend. A legend, but I mean, that's all I'll say about that.
Let's get into our segment, Spin It. Now, don't forget, we are not PR professionals. We are simply girls who studied PR in college and we love the hustle of the game. If you have any messy situations, exhilarating things that you need us to put a little PR spin on, email at unhingedandimoralpod@gmail.com. Jamila, what do we have this week?
Okay, here we go. Y'all are long-winded, aren't you? Love you, girls.
That's how it started?
No, I'm saying this is long. I said you guys are long-winded.
Okay,
okay, dating life help.
Period.
Okay, so I really hope y'all answered this one. I really haven't shared this with anyone, but y'all feel like homegirls in my head. So in May, I broke up with my ex because his energy was very dry. 2 weeks following the breakup, we got back together. Everything was going smoothly. I'd actually say things were better than they had been in a long time. So obviously, we were in a honeymoon phase and had makeup sex. Well, one night after I took a shower, I walked up to him putting...
What'd she say?
Well, one night after I took a shower, I walked into him putting cream on his dick in the living room. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, he went to the doctor and he had an infection, ingrown, blah, blah, blah. He was tested and the doctor gave him cream for it. This shit made me suspicious and I asked, did you fuck someone else? He said no. I just found it strange he went to go get tested for something on his private area without saying anything to me. Fast forward a few days, the bump looks like herpes. Oh my God, sister. I told him to go to the doctor again, and guess what? It's HSV2. He confesses that in the 2 weeks we weren't together, he fucked his ex-girlfriend. We break up. I got tested. It was negative. Waited a few months because I was nervous. September, tested positive. Well, now December, I met someone and we went on our first date today. I didn't expect to like him so much now. I'm so worried about if things progress further. I really want to move on. I know I have to tell him. Is it better to tell it soon? Should I wait a while? How should I approach this? I know it's a heavy topic, but y'all make me laugh and I could use a laugh actor right now. Woo!
So first things first. I just want to say this. Wait. I want to say this before we say anything else.
I know what you're gonna say, baby. Go ahead.
Everybody has herpes.
I know that. Go ahead.
Well, okay. And this is from shout out to my homegirl Lori. She's an RN. She's a nurse she's an RN. And during my 26th birthday, we were drunk, but she went on this drunken but very informative rant at my literal birthday party and told us everyone has herpes. And by the time we all die, like if you don't have it now, baby, you will eventually get it. Now, obviously, HSV 1 and 2 are different. Oral herpes and genital herpes are very different. But if like you have oral sex and you have oral herpes, that is now going down. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's a very easy transfer is what I'm trying to say. Part of the reason that they don't do specific testing anymore for herpes on like basic
STD, freak everybody out.
Yeah, they don't want to freak people out basic STD panels because it is really not the end of the world. Like quite literally, she has told me about she had a patient who literally unalived themselves because they found out they had herpes, and I just remember she was saying how sad she was because it like everyone literally has herpes. Most people are asymptomatic, which is another reason that they don't test for it. On basic STD panels because they don't want to alarm you. It's much like a virus, you know what I'm saying? And if it's inside of you, it's simply inside of you. But if you have cold sores, you do have herpes, and you know if you're getting it on your genitals, it's you know same energy, not exactly the same thing, not the same strain, but very very doable to live with. And I want to handle this. Like I want us to have humor, but I do want us to have a serious conversation.
Gotta get the disclaimer out there.
But putting the disclaimer out about ending the stigma, I don't think it's something that should be as stigmatized as it is. I do absolutely believe that your ex, if you have any cousins, brothers who can go whoop his ass, you absolutely need to make that happen. Simply for the fact that he was dishonest with you and he fucked you raw. He was clearly
first
fucking
and
people
foremost,
raw.
he lied to you. He knew why he was putting that cream on that dick.
Yeah. That was absolutely out of pocket. And I hope that you never speak to him again because that level of dishonesty, especially if you're having a flare up and still having sex, it's just irresponsible. You know what I mean? Like it's simply irresponsible. With that being said, now that you are in the same situation, I do think it is appropriate for you to make it known. I think that you should. There is so much information on herpes and HSV 1 and 2 that you can definitely have sex and have a very enjoyable sex life with someone who will enjoy it with you and not, you know, pass it is what I'm trying to say. There are so many options.
There's a lot of options.
What I think that you should do first is go to your doctor. There are so many options. It's really not the end of the world, quite literally.
Yeah.
So I don't think you should treat it as if it's the end of the
I don't
world.
want you to feel like, oh my gosh, what do I do? But I can understand because that information that we just gave you, a lot of people don't know that. And they also
don't want to hear it either.
I was gonna say, even if they hear that, they're kind of like, I don't care, herpes, bumps. Yeah. Coochie bumps. Like, it's like, okay. So what I would say is to like get into that conversation with him is I would start the conversation off with, hey, when's the last time you was tested? Like, because that's a conversation you should be having anyway. Like, you know, so when's the last time you get tested? And then I think you should, you know, since you already got tested for herpes, I don't know if you got your full workup, but just go ahead and get your whole mic chart updated. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and get it clear. Make sure that everything else is good. Because at the end of the day, health is important too. We want to make sure you're healthy and make sure you're on the right treatment path. So before you even start discussing coochie and penis and, you know, getting familiar, make sure that your flare is gone and make sure that you are healthy and safe, right? So once we move past that, ask the boy if he got tested. Because you don't know where his dick been either. Hello? So go ahead and get that information, right? And then that just starts the conversation. Well, hey, you know, I do want to, you know, let you know that I do have, you know, HSV 1, also known as genital herpes. However, I'm currently not having a flare up. Give him the full stat and be like, you know, and I hate to say this, but this is real. You're going to have to hear this. After you tell him everything that you tell him, he has the option to either accept and go forward or just to move on because that's not something he's comfortable with. And you have to be okay with that because everybody deserves the autonomy to choose whether or not this is something they want to involve themselves in. Yes, we can give you all the information you want. We can let him know that, hey, like you're going to be fine. But if he still doesn't want to, that's just is what it is. And you have to be okay with that. You can't convince everybody that this is something that you should be okay with, but it just is what it is. You can even allow him like, hey, what do you need from me to feel comfortable for us to move forward and just allow it to be an open conversation. But if he's not mature enough or just ready enough in that moment to accept that this is not something that will hurt him if y'all take the proper precautions, then he's just not. And you're going to have to find.
I think Jamila's right. That can be a hard pill to swallow. But something I think that you should do is possibly look into dating like a doctor, more like a nurse though, simply because nurses are on the ground floor with it. And I'm not gonna say like they have a better knowledge on health scares. Unfortunately, the average Joe, when you start talking about herpes and HSV 1 and 2, they're like, yeah, a nurse would not be as freaked out by this because, like I said, like with my homegirl, she's like, no, like there's options, like it's not the end of the world. Da, da, da. Like someone who's really and nurses are testing and seeing the numbers and seeing how many people actually have herpes and how many people who you're kissing someone who has herpes and you don't know it. And you see you're still walking around and you're living life. Like they actually have that actual knowledge. So I don't think that would scare them as much because as someone who's had these conversations on TikTok before, I definitely do feel like this is something that unfortunately it's not going to be easy, but I do think, and plus the other thing is nurse niggas have money. The nurses have money, especially once there are like they be having money and I've dated a couple nurses,
especially the travel ones.
The travel, like, and they're very cynical in a way. Like health stuff is they're just the way that they think. I think that will make it really, and because I'm thinking long term. I know that you asked us here about this particular man,
but it's going to continuously be something that
right, and this is something that you're going to have to, disclose a lot. And just in the long term, I think that definitely dating someone who's in the medical field, who's seeing these things all the time, and is not as freaked out by them, I think that will work in your favor, and they won't be broke. So you know that much.
Yes. But the first nigga who was rubbing cream on that dick before telling you he absolutely knew what he was doing. He just wanted a little coochie and he knew that you would not fuck him. There's two parts to this. There's two parts to this, actually. Number one, he knew. He knew.
He lied.
Number two, you must inspect that dick.
Yes. Did I say that on the podcast? I made a video about it, but I have actually been in that situation where I was getting ready to get fellatio and I saw something on the dick that did not align with me at that moment.
And it's like, I don't know what that is.
And that's what, what's so crazy. Like niggas don't give a fuck about their own health. So I don't expect you to give a fuck about mine. He was going to let me suck his dick with that open wound.
Yeah.
No, I'm actually, please take me home. I didn't have a license.
Let me tell you something. Even if that was not herpes, that is still an open wound.
Why would you put mouth on that?
Why would you want me to put my saliva on that? My saliva has all the bacteria that's in my mouth. I'm putting on your open fucking wound, you nasty nigga.
I just don't understand why. I don't know. Even as someone who is I'm not as hairy as I used to be because I get my hoo-ha lasered. Shout out to laser hair removal. Scorch the earth down there. But back in the day, when I was shaving, I'm actually I'm prone to ingrown hairs. And sometimes
as most Black people are.
You're right. We are more prone. And if your hair is kinky, I'm a forward texture girl. And and don't be fooled. I have a lot of chemicals and relaxed and gel and things. That's right. Those ingrown hairs, they do turn into, you got to pop them and they can be open and stuff. And I just remember when that happened to me, I wouldn't want to do anything because I would be like, well, I don't want to have to try and explain to someone that this is not something. This is literally just,
and that's not going to help the ingrown hair.
Tweezers trying to get it out.
Right. But also having sex with a wound, which is like, if you have an ingrown hair and it kind of busts open, it's an open wound. That's not going to help it heal. You should still take your time. It's too much friction. Like,
Jesus.
Just rest. Just sit
down for a second.
It's okay to not have sex, you fucking horny bastards. But anyway. Like, sometimes you must sit down.
You just have
and
to
just
sit
be
down.
Like, maybe next week.
Maybe.
Rain check?
You know what's so funny? If you ever have an ingrown hair and it's not coming to a head, this is an old head trick. Get the egg white of the skin of the egg. If you peel it out, you know how you crack an egg? And it has that little layer of
little film?
Well, I can't think of the name of it right now, but my mom used
to
membrane. The membrane, kind of. My mom always did this growing up.
Oh.
If you have a pimple that, how it's not at a head, so it can't
I have one right here. I have
hurts.
on a pimple patch.
Yeah. If you this is the old school pimple patch. Before they had pimple patches, this is what the old people did. My grandmother did this. My great grandmother did. Like, this is something that I grew up doing. My mom would take the membrane and you put it on where your pimple, and you put it on like a pimple patch, and it will bring it to a head. That's some old school tea. That's some old nigga tea. That's how you do that.
Oh, interesting.
All natural pimple patches. And I'm just saying, for the ingrown hairs, sometimes the ingrown hairs aren't they're under the skin. They can't be pushed up. If you ever need to bring it to a head, because I had a lot of, when I first started shaving my underarms as a kid, I used to get a lot of ingrown hairs, and that's always how my mom she would just be like, okay, you got to like, we would try and keep it on, but she would always put them under my arms. Wow. So yeah, that's a fun fact. Free game. Everyone has eggs. Well, they're expensive as fuck now, but you know,
I was like, oh well.
If you can't get a pimple patch, you can get an egg. That's what I'm saying.
For sure. Also have that nigga beat the fuck up.
Absolutely.
Because what he did was absolutely horrendous. Like, it's actually to the point where that's actually a crime. I don't know if you know that, but that's a crime.
That is a crime.
Knowingly infecting somebody with an STD or STI is a crime, punishable by law.
Yes.
Dun-dun.
And we're in the age of promoting violence. You know, I see Luigi's fan club, and I'm going to go ahead and promote violence in this situation.
If you deserve to be slapped,
you got to get slapped.
Then you have to get slapped. There's nothing I can do to prevent that.
Does Luigi deserve to be slapped? I'm not going to get into that on here, but I just want to say shout out to Baltimore County. Towson, we're up.
What I will say is,
go Tigers.
When you see people who are like obviously bad people and like bad things happen to them, I sometimes be like, damn.
Interesting.
Well, prayers.
None of my business.
Awkward. So what I'm saying is, call your friends, brothers, cousins, dad, and uncle to beat that nigga ass for infecting you with that herp. Because it didn't even have to be like that. But now that it's like that, you gonna be okay, sister. But the way he did that is just trifling as fuck. Like, nigga, you want to coochie that motherfucking bad? You lame ass nigga. Beat that nigga up today.
Yeah. Don't
let your coochie heal, and then, you know, get you a nigga that is understandable, and you'll be all right, sister.
You know.
Or use your vibrator for a while.
I love my Rose. She's gotten me through so much.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to just take some time to yourself, you know.
They said that the Rose makes the sensitivity on your clitoris not as strong, but I think I'm here for a good time, not a long time. You know,
who said that? That sounds like a propaganda set started by niggas.
Probably. I said I don't need the sensation that bad. If I don't have it when I'm 70, I've enjoyed 50 years of it.
I feel like that is a scheme that them niggas set up.
That was a scheme set up by Todd, because I just want to say, boy, I still feel everything.
I don't know. The way they the way they be beating they shit, like, you tell me that still got sensitivity? I don't know. Like, fuck y'all.
Girl, fuck
y'all mad.
Fuck niggas. Get money. But yeah, girl, you're going to be all right. We're wishing you the best, for real.
Wishing you all the best, sister. You be all right.
All right, let's get into reading these comments. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Unhinged and Immoral. And if you have something you want to send in, we'll plug the Gmail again at unhingedandimmoralpod@gmail.com. I'm going to be reading the Spotify comments. A shout out to Cambili Osai. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Cambili Osai.
Why are you...
That Greek part gave me trauma flashbacks. Let's not talk about that
again. Same, sister, same.
Lex said, baby, one thing about being on the right side of 1911, it's most definitely wrong. You are absolutely correct. Straw Hat Summer said, not a money in a cage. What did we say last week that said not money in a cage? Who was in the cage with the money?
Oh, monkey in a cage.
Oh, monkey in a cage. Not a monkey in a cage. Well, the monkey was in the cage.
Well, yes.
Shout out to Sierra. She said, y'all are too funny. Okay, what's up? Are you from Baltimore? Merlin. Sweet Suge. Okay, Avery. Sweet Suge 11 said, I cackled on Mecca, asked you who ate your butt the best. Y'all are hilarious.
Because why would she say that?
We're back with another comment from Hannah. I'm about to get mad at us reading the comments every motherfucking week. I didn't know you knew that was my Insta. I thought I was a mysterious babe.
I'm crying.
Hannon, your name is the same on every platform.
I'm screaming. Let's get into these YouTube comments. At Liberian G. Banna, as an elder millennial. Hello, LIB. As an elder millennial auntie, I thoroughly enjoy you all's long form content coming over from TikTok, period. At Aisha above and I don't know, 5778 above. If the Black Lady sketch show ever comes back, y'all should be on main cast. Wake that up, wake that up, wake that up, wake that up, wake that up.
Let's manifest that. That's lit.
You onto something, sister. At Madman 1000, I was around 11 or 12 when the R. Kelly tape hit the streets, and I actually saw the tape. It was definitely him, and everything they said it was. Oh my God. I've never to this day have seen a clip.
And I don't want to.
I don't want to. But I'm surprised it hasn't like
resurfaced.
Resurfaced because like the internet
because
days.
I do remember it being available at the barbershop.
Yeah, people
because I remember
my
like uncles and dad talking about it, but I've never seen it. I don't think they've ever seen it. The contents of, just with the context of the contents of the tape, that's a child that's happening with, like a 12-year-old. That was the fact that motherfuckers was buying that disgusting. But
that like y'all are actually sick as fuck.
I'm like, oh my God.
At Pinky D12, yes, you all are on top of dropping these contents. Well, baby, we really trying.
Yes. Yeah, we're trying to keep up with it, girl.
Yeah, we got y'all. At Deanna XO, Mecca saying he had you fucked up though. The next statement out of Jamila's mouth had me floored. Like, OMG, that was so wild. Who knows what I even said?
It was when you had said he told you you wasn't a strong Black woman.
Oh yes, well,
he had you fucked up.
Don't fuck with no Sigmas.
No wiggles.
Fuck the wiggles. At T-Ag, baby, y'all be in with these names.
Let me see. Tignelia,
something. LMAO, y'all are so funny. That Greek advice y'all gave was too real. Exactly.
Tignelia, this is a very cute profile picture, by the way, girl.
It is. Hair
very
laid.
Pretty.
At Daylar or at Dayla Rain 6077. Mecca's Black Christmas plushies.
It's a Negro home, child. It's a Negro home.
Dead.
I'll be reading the Apple comments. This is from Nia Divine. Love y'all down. Tens across the board. I love you guys so much. It's really giving the raw, uncut version of TikTok, and I'm here for it. I love that you guys are growing and getting all the support you need. P.S. I might be a little slow, but how do we submit submissions to you guys? At unhingedandimoralpod@gmail.com. That's where you'd email it. Unhingedandimoralpod, POD, @gmail.com. It's spelled exactly the way it sounds. Thank you so much. And I think this says Ashley and Marie. Just love it. And she gave us some brown ethnic claps. Amazing podcast. That's from Sydney Fohead. Oh, are you from Cali, Sydney Fohead? My favorite podcast. The hour yap sessions make me feel like we're on FaceTime with just my homegirls. Never a dull moment, period. And what's this? Oh, Silent G said Auntie Challenge. Now, y'all said it, not me. Jamila and
mind
Mecca.
You, these comments are before, so that's what's funny. Yeah, they had to be.
Oh, Apple's on a delay. Well, that's just ironic. That is just I love that. Auntie Challenge, Jamila and Mecca are so well-spoken and engaging. I love this show and look forward to more episodes. Thank you so much. Well, all right. Thank you.
Wow.
Leave my laptop down. Well,
we love you guys so much. So this is
for
our
first episode of 2025, actually.
I was going to say, this is our last episode of the year, but it's not. It's actually our first episode of the new year. So happy New Year.
Happy New Year. And we hope that you guys have an amazing New Year's. Be safe. Make sure you kiss somebody.
Well, shit, they're seeing this on the 2nd. So did you kiss anybody?
Who did you
start the new year with?
Hey, fun fact, you know how I started the New Year's last year?
How?
I let a man from Trinidad eat me out, and then I went home. So
what a way to start the year. What a way to start
the year.
Shout
out to the Trini people.
I started out the year at home. I believe I was at home, which is like, I kind of really wanted to just chill. But this year, I kind of want to like be out. Like I want to do something like fun.
Oh.
So we'll see. I don't know. We'll see what the cards holds. But definitely, I hope you guys take a little bit of our advice about manifesting and speaking everything into existence.
Yeah, speak everything that you want.
It's truly, truly intentional. You have to also put in the work.
Let me encourage you. Let me speak life to you.
Please don't get Mecca singing.
Because you know we can wake up. Happy New Year's,
Happy New
y'all. Be safe.
We'll see you next Thursday. Bye.
Bye.
Unhinged and Immoral is hosted by Jamila Bell and Mecca.
Produced by Melisa D. Monts and Diamond MPrint Productions.
Post-production by Coco Lawrence.
Production assistant by Melanie D. Watson.
Music by Audie and Brooklyn Billionaires.
And graphics by Claudia Choi.